The Force is with you, young Skywalker. You are not a Jedi yet.
Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Dupree, aka Darth Hater, here with some new Star Wars news. And this one just comes out from StarWars.com called Star Wars Inside Intel Palpatine's Contingency Plan. So it's basically covering everything that deals with Project Ember and everything going into the sequel trilogy up until The Rise of Skywalker. So I know a lot of things have changed, obviously, through the 5 + 6 years that they were thinking about doing with the sequel trilogy. So let's see what they have to say here, because I feel like we probably should have got a different movie than we were kind of anticipating from a lot of stuff that they were alluding to. Okay, so Palpatine's been out there all this time pulling the strings, as he always is. Star Wars Inside Intel is a StarWars.com feature where Lucasfilm Story Group member Emily Shkolkani, I think that's how you say that, whose job is to know as much about the Star Wars galaxy far, far away as possible, explores obscure facts about Star Wars lore and continuity. And this installment, Emily connects the dots of Palpatine's contingency plan. Okay. I know they have a resident holocron keeper. That's the title for the person. I forgot his name. But his whole thing was like he has to know every single thing about Star Wars, from the movies, the books, comic books, video games. So Pablo Hidalgo, like, you know, they're all sponges, but it's their job to connect the dots. But okay, it's another person from the story group. So, and then again, I think everybody in that story group is pretty much like the High Council when it comes to the Star Wars story and the connective tissues. But continue reading. Although Poe Dameron might not have understood how Palpatine returned in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and was understandably exasperated at the news, it was all part of the contingency plan, a plan that anticipated Palpatine's death and prepared for his return to power. Palpatine was a talented manipulator, from killing his own Sith Master to creating conflicts, conspiracies within the Republic Senate, to orchestrating a galaxy-wide war and taking power as the Emperor. As a Sith Lord, Palpatine craved power but feared losing it. This compelled him to design a backup plan, known officially as the contingency. In an event that he died, Palpatine's plot would go into effect. Project Ember from Star Wars Battlefront 2. Originally introduced in Claudius Gray's Star Wars Lost Stars, as a concept, the contingency itself began in Chuck Wendig's Aftermath trilogy. After Emperor Palpatine was unexpectedly betrayed and killed by Darth Vader, and word of his death, along with the destruction of the second Death Star, traveled across the galaxy, the contingency unfolded as planned. Sentinel droids were dispatched to Imperials throughout the galaxy and advised them on the next steps, starting with Operation Cinder. Yeah, so in Battlefront 2, there were these red droids who looked very human, obviously, but they had like this weird bubble face, and like it was like Emperor Palpatine's message or whatever, giving Imperials and admirals and stuff, things, giving them the plan of doing Project Cinder, Operation Cinder, and also about going out to the far reaches. But Operation Cinder sought to destroy the Imperial and New Republic planets alike, with the goal to destroy sensitive information or other liabilities. The operation was carried out in various ways, including the use of climate disrupting arrays, which once fired upon a planet would create catastrophic weather conditions. Vortex detonators, customized explosive that made the planet of Nakaris uninhabitable, and the Imperial Navy, who engaged in battles on planets that attempted to resist the operations, such as Naboo, Burnin Khan, as mentioned in The Mandalorian, Abednego, Abednego. That's such a weird, hard word to say. Those are those like race of aliens with the weird faces that they put in the sequel trilogy. And more. Operation Cinder was devastating, but it also solidified many allegiances to the newly erected New Republic and saw many Imperials defect due to its brutality of the operation. Yeah. One major element of the contingency was about a year after Emperor's death at the Battle of Jakku, led by self-appointed counselor of the Empire Gallius Rex. He brought the remainder of the Empire to Jakku in the last stand against the New Republic. The majority of the Imperials involved in the battle believed they would retake the galaxy with a victory, but the contingency plan for this to be the conclusion to the Empire. Rax was originally supposed to have the entire planet of Jakku destroyed, along with the Imperials, as further punishment for failing Palpatine. What was unaccounted for in his plan was Grand Admiral Ray Sloane. Yep. An underling of Galaxy's Rax, Sloane was kept in the dark about the contingency and Rax's involvement. As such, Sloane began to believe that Rax was deviating the Empire from its intended glory. On Jakku, Sloane confronted Rax, where she shot and killed him. In his final moments, Rax appointed Sloane to the contingency and urged her to retreat to the unknown regions. Yep, unknown regions. With Brindle Hux to create a new and better empire. With Rax dead, thanks to Sloane, Jakku was saved. Rax's plan to completely destroy the Emperor did not unfold, with the remnant of the Empire continuing for years following the end of the war. Sloane would heed Rax's final demands and head for unknown regions. So basically, I remember when this first all came out and they were like, building up to this, that, the Empire went to the unknown regions and then basically came forth into the galaxy with, what's that dude's name? What weird dude with the big head? Anyway. For many years prior to his demise, Palpatine sought immortality on the Sith planet of Exegol. It was on this planet he and his cultists, known as the Sith Eternal, experimented with cloning. Exegol was also where Palpatine built his final Order fleet. As an immortal Sith, Palpatine would reign supreme over the galaxy with his Sith Armada. This would be the grand finale of the contingency, known only to a few select. When Palpatine was killed on the second Death Star, his consciousness transferred to his clone body. His consciousness transferred to a clone of his own body on Exegol, but the body was too weak to contain him. This led Palpatine to creating more clones and strand casts of himself in the hopes that he would offer a more suitable vessel for him to inhabit. All this effort ultimately culminated in Rey, the daughter of one of the Palpatine strand casts. Yeah, so I know that was really confusing for a lot of people when that all came out. So in a weird way, Rey is technically, obviously Palpatine's granddaughter, but it's like Palpatine had a bunch of different clones, obviously, and then one of those clones was a failed clone. So basically a normal clone that couldn't hold the Force or anything, and then that clone escaped or something, and then I think married a woman and then fathered Rey, and then they were obviously killed by that one Ochi of Bestoon or whatever, in some really dumb way. Anyway, the daughter of one of the Palpatine strand casts, she was the perfect vessel, but her father and mother did everything they could to hide her from her sinister grandfather. Destiny and the contingency would catch up to Rey in the form of First Order, led by one of Palpatine's evil duplicates called Snoke. Yeah, Snoke. Although Snoke was unsuccessful in bringing Rey to Palpatine and was unexpectedly killed by his protege Kylo Ren, Palpatine continued to pull the strings in order to reel in his granddaughter, so he could finally achieve ultimate power. Yeah, even reading this, it sounds very convoluted, but the final order of operation was slowly deployed from Exegol on pledge to destroy the planet after planet. The Resistance worked quickly to counter this new threat. Rey accepted her role as a Jedi and rebel, and arriving on Exegol to bring a conclusion to the conflict. Palpatine planned for Rey to partake in a ritual which would allow him to inhabit her body and live forever. But Rey had other plans. With the help of Ben Solo and Jedi Pat, I wouldn't even really say that was help. Anyway, Ben Solo and Jedi passed. Rey took her final steps and defeated the Phantom Menace once and for all. She learned something about blah 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 blah. Okay, first off, unless like you've been following this and following the stories and everything they've been putting out for years, this all sounds very, very convoluted. And I remember like the plan originally was never really, they even said it a long time ago, was never really to bring Palpatine back, because that kind of defeats the purpose of Anakin destroying the Sith once and for good, once and for all, and bringing balance to the Force. Like that really negates his whole character arc and journey for 6 movies. And I don't want to go on a tangent about this, but I have like a lot of mixed feelings. Like I love sequel trilogy for what it is and parts and things of it, but there's a lot of part that just really it doesn't really sit well with me. Like I'm gonna do another video, like I said before, with my ranking and everything, and you'll see why I put the sequel trilogy where they are and how I feel about them. But this makes more sense. I just wish that they had, when everything was revealed, really just said, okay, Snoke was just a failed copy of Palpatine. And then we get the Darth Vader comic books where Vader goes to Exegol to defeat Palpatine and ends up seeing that Palpatine has his ultimate power in the form of a giant kyber crystal, and he also has Luke Skywalker's severed hand somehow. So I'm hoping they kind of go into the story of maybe that they were using DNA from Luke's hand to make Snoke or something like that, or that Snoke was a failed Palpatine clone and just be done with that. They also hinted at it in The Mandalorian. That was that one episode where they go back to Navarro to destroy supposed abandoned Imperial facility that obviously is not abandoned. And then you see what they call strand cast, and it's like you can't really tell they're a strand cast of different species. There's 1 or 2 that look very human. There's one that looks like a Mon Cala, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of connective tissue there, and I know there's probably a lot more to this that they're just adding on to really make it make sense, especially with the whole need for the Empire after them, or I should say the Imperial Remnant. Why they really are obsessed with Grogu, why Moff Gideon is like, I need the child, I need the DNA. And then at the end of season 2, he's even like, I got the DNA, I got what I needed from him, and that was it. So I really hope that they go forward and kind of, close this chapter, or just, like I said, in a whole make it make sense. I just really want it to not be as convoluted and have to really explain to people why Palpatine is back in episode 9. This gives a little bit more clarity, and I'm happy they're finally doing stuff like this from this what they're calling Star Wars Inside Intel. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this. Let me know what you thought about Palpatine's contingency plan. Let me know what you think about them bringing him back in Rise of Skywalker in general. Let me know what you think about Unlimited Power. And as always, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you didn't like this video, hit that like button. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you could be so kind as to hit that bell to get notifications for all my latest videos, that would be great. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching this so much. Take care. See you in the next one. May the force be with you. Bye.